Welcome back to Talk Back. We're talking to Imran Khan, the chairman of the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. Imran, left, right, or center?
If you have to put us in a stereotype, I would say that we are more on the left than on the right, but we're basically centrist party. Left in the sense that our economic policies would be left. Believe in socio-economic justice. We believe in Pakistan being a welfare state, a place which is humane, a country that is not, as it is right now, just for a tiny elite. And yet we believe that in the Islamic values, secularism as it's understood in the West.
Then why is it that The Guardian says, and this is 31st of August, a couple of years ago, he has voted with the MMA, a coalition of hardline Islamic parties in the National Assembly. He has also followed the mullah's lead on several policy issues, opposing operations against Al-Qaeda militants in the tribal areas, railing against madrasa reform, and criticizing women who participate in mixed sex road races.
Let me just say one thing.
You did vote with the MMA, though.
But I also voted for the ARD. I voted for the MMA because wherever MMA was what we believed was going along with our manifesto, we voted for them. Where did we vote for them? We voted that there should not be any American bases in Pakistan. We believed in sovereign Pakistan. This is when MMA came to power. It's the only party that was talking about sovereignty, that was opposing American action in Afghanistan. We believed in that, okay, so we voted for them. But the next time when the MMA went with the government on the 17th Amendment, I voted with the ARD, but that's not mentioned. And now about opposing operations in the tribal area. It was not against Al-Qaeda opposing those operations. I am opposing the operation against our own people. Our army fighting our own people in the tribal areas. This is one of the biggest disasters that Pakistan has done. 100,000 Pakistani soldiers in the tribal area fighting their own people. This is not Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda are only a few thousand people. Tribal area, it has about over 1 million armed people there. This is a quagmire that Pakistan can never get out of.
We can talk about that in a bit.
You need to, one by one, you need to I need to answer the questions about tribal area. Yes, I oppose it. It's not because of MMA. I opposed it before the MMA.
What about the Women's Protection Bill?
The PTI position on the Hudud ordinances that it should be scrapped as a whole because it was made by a military dictator. The Women's Protection Bill, we abstained along with PMLN because it was passed with malified intentions. It wasn't passed to protect the women.
You said it was made in Washington Islamic system.
It was for two reasons. One was that this Women's Protection Bill was to please Washington, which is what this government has done. Number two, it was to split the opposition, which it successfully did. Because after the killing of Nawab Akbar Bukti, the whole opposition got back on one platform. PMLN and PTI's position was that this is not the time to get split on this Women's Protection Bill because this is exactly why the government has introduced it. We should wait for a genuine democratic system to come in Pakistan, have free and fair elections, have genuine democracy, and then deal with the Hudud ordinance.
We know that you said, because this is what you said if a law related to women had been in place for more than 26 years, why was it not allowed to continue for one more year? Well, it was not allowed to continue for one more year.
This is out of context.
Primarily because it provides loopholes.
What our exact position was, and you have to understand this, the exact position was that for 26 years this law has been imposed. Why not wait for another year for a genuine democratic system to come and then deal with the Hudud ordinance as a whole?
A law is a law is a law. It's legislation. It's good legislation, for women at least.
It is an improvement, but not at the expense of destroying the opposition. Because what is more important in Pakistan? A genuine democracy or just one law which could wait for 1 year? Okay, that was the position. At the moment, the problem is that the attention has been diverted from a bigger problem, and this bill did it. The bigger problem is to have genuine democracy in Pakistan. Get rid of the military dictatorship. That is a bigger problem because it's an overall rights problem in Pakistan. Why not law about the disappeared people? Why not law about killing in the tribal area, extrajudicial killing? What about the military operation in Balochistan? What about the 70,000 prisoners in our jails today? And I reckon about 25% of them are innocent. What about the rights of child? It's a basic issue of rights in Pakistan.
But you wouldn't support legislation which is improving the lives of women.
It's not a question of
For the sake of political expediency.
This is not true. PTI's position, I repeat, that the whole Hudud ordinance needs to be scrapped. And a genuine democracy should debate it and make amendments accordingly. But at the moment, this government brought this law in just a year before the elections. What about 7 years it's been in power? Why did this not bring in before? And why bring in straight after when Nawab Akbar Bukhti's killing had united the opposition, and just then they brought in and split the opposition? That was our point. That it is not, we didn't oppose the Women's Protection Bill. What we felt was that the timing of the bill was not because the government was concerned about women, it was to split the opposition.
Speaking of Balochistan and speaking of the tribal areas, which you are obviously against the way the government is performing that, what do you think should happen? What do you think Pakistan's policy with Washington should be? Should we dump Washington? Can we take on the Americans? Because, I mean, in retrospect, the diatribe from you before President Bush arrived put you in detention, as far as I recall.
President Bush will go down in history as one of the biggest war criminals. And I was so ashamed by the way Pakistani people did not react to that when he came here. In India, hundreds of thousands of people came out in protest against Bush. And America is supporting India. Indian army has not killed Indian people to please Washington. In Pakistan...
So we should dump Washington?
In Pakistan, no. There's a big difference between dumping Washington or picking up arms against Washington and becoming boot polishers of Washington, toadies and lackeys of Washington. There's a big difference. Unfortunately, military dictators do not understand the dynamics of Western democracies. They sit here and they think either you have to bow down completely or pick up arms against them. There's a huge, big gray area in between. My opinion is that, yes, should have supported Washington in its war on terror. There was an act of terror against Washington in 9/11. But the way we should have supported should have been debated in Pakistan. Pakistan's interest and the interest of Pakistani people should have also been kept by the government. That interest should have been kept in the forefront. We should not have accepted everything that Washington asked us to do.
What would you do in the tribal areas? What's your policy?
Military solution is not the solution in Afghanistan or the tribal areas. The Pashtun they are fighting has two things. One is it's a perfect democratic system. It's a devolved democracy. They have never accepted foreign occupation. They have never tasted occupation. They have been free people. They will not accept this. Number two, revenge is an integral part of the Pashtun character, and it predates Islam. Whenever you do aerial bombing, as it is happening, Pakistan Army is using Cobra helicopters against its own citizens in tribal area. American troops are doing the same in Afghanistan. What is happening is that when innocent people get killed, or what is called collateral damage,
revenge is an integral part.
You help the Taliban movement. There are no shortage of recruits going on the other side, not for religious reasons, for political reasons. So this movement is growing by the day. And so clearly our military is not the solution. So
you would talk to them?
Political solution.
You would talk to them. And you convince the Americans to do so as well?
The parliament elected under occupation in Afghanistan today has recommended to talk to Taliban.
We have to take a break here. We're talking to Imran Khan, chief of the PTI. Stay tuned to Talk Back.